Okay. I had recorded a video at first, but then I lost the data, so I had to delete my old videos that I uploaded a couple of days ago. But basically, what I was trying to discuss was a little things that I had left out from my last video that I felt was very important to mention, just to get an idea of the situation with my last roommates. But basically, the first time I really noticed something off on my living roommate Melissa was when she had mentioned some woman not being pretty because she looked Jewish, but it was so subtle, it was so incoherent that you would think, oh, did she really just say that or did I mishear? But I believe she did say that. I believe she was like, she's not even pretty, she looks Jewish, but she says it so fast that it's like what did you just say? And it was just very weird because it was on one of those housewife shows. It wasn't like the shows with the black women like Drea or anything like that. It was like those Beverly Hills shows or like Housewives of New Jersey or like something like that. And it was just like very weird. And I could have called her out on it, but again, I did not know her at the time, so I wasn't going to just get into an argument, especially when I am living with someone and I was trying so hard to not have it be a hostile environment. So certain things that I did not like agree with, I was just going to just put that at the back of my head and just like take note of what type of person she was. So it wasn't so much that I was trying to just let it slide. It was just the fact that I didn't feel safe to just call her out. And she had made another comment about this guy that we had met on the first night when we went to that party, and he was our DD. And he had other friends with him. So we go back to our apartment, we're chilling, and I thought he was very cute. I thought like he had dark hair, like he had, he was different. He was cute. I thought he was like the cutest guy of the group. And it was obvious that Melissa and him were hitting it off and that he really liked her. He was doing her favors. And I thought, okay, he seems like a really cute guy. And I tell Melissa, that guy. I thought it was pretty cute. And she's like, yeah, but it's just something I don't like about him. His nose just bothers me. I don't know why, but his nose is just really weird. I just can't deal with that. And I was like, really, bitch? Really, bitch? I didn't say that to her face, but I thought, so because a guy has a big nose, or like I knew what she was thinking because she had made that anti-Semitic comment before. She's like, okay, because he has a quote unquote Jewish nose, you don't find him attractive. Like, you anti-Semitic bitch, get the fuck out of here. I thought that was so weird for her to say such a thing, because he was pretty cute. He wasn't like the other basic guys that we were with. Like, he was probably like the best looking guy, and I didn't really care because like none of the guys really paid attention to me because I'm like just this awkward black girl with the two white girls at the time, and Melissa and Sally are just hitting it off, and I'm just awkwardly sitting there like, yeah, I'm just there. I'm just like the roommate. But what was funny that night when like we went um, we did something debaucherous. I'm not going to mention it, but one of the guys, the one with the blonde hair that I was sort of chucking it up with, said, how did you met these girls? Are they your roommates? Were they your friends prior to your move in? Because they don't really seem like your crowd. And at first I was thinking like, that's sort of misogynistic because I hang out with any type of people. It doesn't matter what type of person you are. If we get along and I have something in common with you, or I just feel like you're a fun person, someone easy to talk to, I don't really care about what type of personality you have or where you are from. But it's sort of like, these foreshadows that, I'm just um, coming to terms with now, where people are like those are your roommates, because I guess they could see, like, I don't know, like, it was just sort of awkward, how I'm just like the quiet person just to myself, and they're like outgoing, and they sort of saw it as, they seem like they would sort of take advantage of that. And sure enough, they did. But I noticed other things where Melissa had said, um, I don't fuck with Mexicans. I don't fuck with Indians. I don't fuck with any type of Asians. I don't fuck with anyone that's not black or white. And I thought that was very weird because at this party, we had met this guy who is Mexican. He is non black, but he is a brown Mexican. And I thought he was really cute, and I had told the girls, and that was when she said, "Ew, I don't like Mexicans. Like Mexicans are gross." And I actually had, well, she didn't say all of that. I'm sorry. Like I'm not gonna like, but that's basically the tone of her voice. Basically, gave me that indication that that's what she had thought. And it's weird because she's this vote for Bernie Sanders type of person, this progressive person who's like, vote for Bernie Sanders. I don't know why, but just vote for him. And it's like, oh God, like another foreshadow, like the Bernie Sanders progressive white person. And I was like, Jesus Christ, like get me out of here. Well, like when she had said that, because we were all sitting in the living room, and this guy's like, I don't like Donald Trump because he had said some things about Hispanics that I just did not agree with. And I was thinking like that's why she wanted to vote for Bernie Sanders, because she was more progressive. And I don't have a problem with Bernie Sanders. I'm not gonna divulge information on like my politics or who I may vote for, but out of everyone, I do feel like Bernie Sanders is the more desirable candidate out of everyone else. He has some problems that we need to work through. Like we all need to work through with him, but I do believe that Bernie Sanders has some sincerity, unlike Hillary Clinton. Definitely, I would like for him to talk more about indigenous issues as well, Native American issues. I don't believe that he has, or I don't know, but I would like to hear that from him. And I think that's very important as well. Not just Black Lives Matter, but Hillary Clinton was very disgusting towards Native American women, indigenous women, and like I don't know in detail. I'm not going to pretend like I know, but I just know that it's very important for him to talk about those issues as well. Um, but yeah, she was your vote for Bernie Sanders type, but then she was sitting there saying that she didn't like any Latinx person. And I knew when she meant Latinx, because clearly she doesn't know that there are Afro Latinx, and that there are white Latinx, and that there are Asian Latinx, and that there are all types of Latinx, like mestizo, mixed race, biracial, white passing Latinx. She was pretty much thinking of dark skinned, mestizo, indigenous persons, and I knew that's what image came to her mind, because I had told my mom what she had said, and she's like, well, first of all, Mexicans are some of the best looking people in the world. And I was like, Mom, like, not all Mexicans look the same, because my mom was probably thinking of someone like um, Salma Hayek. Salma Hayek. She was probably thinking of someone like Salma Hayek. Or Mexicans don't have a like particular look. No Latinx has a particular look, but she's pretty much thinking of light skin with long dark hair, and some ambiguous features, and that was her idea of like the best looking people. And my mom had a point. It's like, dude, it's your loss, because Mexicans come in all shades and all appearance, and they're all beautiful and good looking people. Like so that's just very ignorant. And I was thinking, if she's gonna feel some type of way about this Mexican boy that I met that I thought was really cute, then fine. Like I have this man of color, you don't. Okay, like that's basically what I was thinking. Because we all know how white girls feel about men of color and all that, not just like black men, but all types of men of color, or at least most. But it was just very weird. And then she's sitting here talking about how she's not racist, and she's mad I'm telling my friends that like she's racist. And it's like, that's pretty much what abusers do, or those who do wrong. They don't want to be exposed. They don't want to like have people reveal what type of person they are. They like to have this facade, because a lot of people are looking at her like, oh, she's cool, she's chill, but she's really not. And the way that she and other girls turn on me, just like that, it just showed that that was basically the perception of me the whole time. And it was like they took me as some sort of charity case. We were so nice to you, we did things for you, and that's fine. Like one girl got the disability service for me, had me like look into that, and especially the counseling center. And one girl let me use her laptop, and one girl also helped me on my Spanish homework, which is fine. But it's like those are like basic things like anyone like should do. Like, and then they're like, you never do anything for me. I'm like, you didn't ask. There was nothing that there's nothing that you needed that I could provide for you. It's like I like that's one thing I don't understand. Like some people are able to provide, others cannot. Like just because you do something for this person does not mean that person is able to provide for you. And for you to say you never do anything for me is some sort of guilt trip where, oh yeah, like because you know a lot of people aren't capable of just like having everything um, at the moment. I don't have a car. I don't have any transportation. So if I need something, I have to ask people. I have to ask this girl for a ride to the bus station so I can go to like my old college town and like spend time with like my brothers and sisters and just hang out. But I don't have something. If I don't have something and I know someone else does, I'm going to ask them and be very gracious about it. And I think a lot of people want to shame others for asking people for help. And there's nothing wrong with asking people for help. And I think a lot of people have this able body and neurotypical mindset where, or even a holistic mindset that we have to do everything for ourselves and that if we ask others it's a burden. And that's the issue with being disabled or being someone that's not able to supply certain things, because we always feel like we're a burden when we ask for help. And that's the able bodied mindset, that if we want assistance we are a burden on those who can do things right away. It's kind of like you asking someone, you know, can you go up there and get this for me, and you all the way down here and they all the way up there and they go, oh. But it's like, why is it a burden to you when you can do it anyway? It's just the fact that you treat people like they are all equal, and to treat people like they're all equal is wrong. You can treat people fairly, but you can't treat people equally, because to pretend as if a marginalized person that cannot do certain things is equal to you, it's very dangerous. To pretend that a disabled person is the same as someone who is able-bodied as in terms of abilities is very dangerous, and it does not benefit those who are disabled. It doesn't benefit anyone but the person who is able-bodied, because they are able to do something, but the person who is disabled isn't. And there's nothing wrong with being disabled. That does not mean that there is anything wrong with you. It just means that there are certain things that you cannot do. Same thing with me. It doesn't mean that you are the wrong person, but if you can't do this, you can't. And you can get help. And I want to talk about, you know, asking people for money. A lot of people are able to like have jobs at the moment. They may have depression or some sort of mental condition or whatever the reason. They don't have a job, so they may ask relatives. How my mom was taught, don't ask relatives, because, you know, my grandpa was very prideful in his manual labor, and he didn't really ask anyone for money. He would give people money, he would be very giving, but he wasn't the one to just be receiving. He didn't like to receive things. He would be the one to give, which I admire that quality in him. But my family members think, okay, well, since my grandpa wasn't the type of man to just ask people for assistance because he was a strong, able-bodied man, then that means everyone else, you know, can't ask for help. But on my father's side of the family, we ask for help. Some people are moochers. I'm not going to say everyone is genuinely needing something. Some people are moochers of the family and will just not pay people back. But our side of the family is like, if you need something, we will give it to you. And that's basically the difference between my family and my family from my father's side, and then my family from my mother's side. My mother's side, although I spent more time with them and I thought that they were the normal side, and probably because of some anti-black colorism and respectability politics and even classism came with that, but they're more so the bougie, you know, we don't look down on others, but we know that um, we're better than you. Like, we're going to just try to like keep our distance but still be friendly. My dad's side of the family is like, we don't give a fuck what people think. You know, yes, we came up pretty poor, we came up from the ghetto, but we're still educated. We're educated people, and they don't sit there and like say, you know, you have to get an education, but they're very prideful in the fact that, you know, a lot of them went to college just because of the environment that they grew up in, you know, in the South and stuff like that. So I don't know how I got from talking about, you know, racist, shitty roommates to, you know, my family issues. But you see, that's just how I am. I'm very random. I like to jump from one subject to another. And I think that goes with being someone who has Asperger's or just neurodivergence. Like you just have a train of thought. And I do have a little bit of ADHD because someone had told me that ADHD and autism can mesh together. That they're not mutually exclusive. You can have both. So, but yeah, I'm so glad I'm over with this whole roommate situation, but I feel like I need to talk about it because to say, oh, it's over now, so you don't have to worry about it, but you can still have some sort of trauma, you can still have some sort of emotional attachment to that situation, negative or positive, it's still there. So for people to say, well, at least it's over now, you can just forget about it, I don't think it's that easy, but it just really made me feel some type of way that they were like trying to make it like I was the bad one in the situation when the whole issue was I didn't feel comfortable, I didn't feel welcome, and I started hanging out with other people that were like me, that we could go to parties and have a good time and not make these subtle racial comments about how fuck up some commas is a ghetto song, or how you didn't feel comfortable because there's too many niggas instead of like white people, but you didn't care about my feelings, you didn't care about my comfort. Like, how did I feel when I walked into that party and there was a Confederate flag? Or how did I feel that I'm at a party where you guys are just talking to a bunch of random guys and not introducing me to them? I'm just standing there like, okay, and you expect me to talk to you? Like, the one thing I did not like about my roommates was that they would always say, you can't walk out, you can't just ignore us. Like, every time I would leave to get some things or go to my friend's apartment, they would always expect me to say bye, 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 I'll see you later. Like, no, that's fucking awkward. I'm not going to say bye every time I leave to do something, especially when I'm going to come back like maybe a few minutes later. I'm not going to do that. You guys did that. I'm not, like, a lot of people have this perception that those who are neurodivergent have to basically give them attention, and when we don't give them attention they feel some type of way. Being an introvert, being a black introvert, being a black film introvert, um, it's just very hard, trying to stay to yourself when you got people trying to literally force you to talk to them. And this happened so many times, so that's why I was so mad when I tried to leave, because I was done. I was so fucking done with them, and they said, if you leave, we'll literally just follow you. Like, bitch, no, you cannot follow me. And honestly, I should have just walked away, and if they try to follow me, I would have just fucking sat there and ignored them, and recorded that shit, which I should have recorded, but they had caught me, so they were like, oh, we gotta delete this. Why? So they wouldn't catch you yelling at me and getting my fucking face, like literally pushing me out the door to fucking leave. Like, I'm standing um in front of this glass door, and this girl Sally comes down and is like yelling at me to fucking leave, threatening the cops on me. Like, okay, we get it, you have white privilege, you have a cop for a father, like, you don't have to rub it in my face, you bigoted piece of shit. Like, for her to say that and then get mad at me when I say Black Lives Matter, and to say, oh, my father who has a gun, who's in like a padded suit that's basically like armor and has a blunt object to use as a weapon, and all this protection, is scared that some black bitch is going to shoot him because she's pissed. Like, you are so fucking racist and you don't even know it. Like, I don't care if you put an Indigenous Peoples Day post acknowledging Indigenous people. I don't care if you have Spanish speaking Latinx friends. I don't give a fuck if you teach Spanish people. I don't give a fuck if you teach Spanish speaking people who are of Latinx descent Spanish and you're not even like Latinx. I don't give a fuck if you, I don't give a fuck if this Melissa girl teaches disabled people. I don't care, because you can still like be a fucking bigot. We all know people who are in the health profession that are just not compassionate for those who are sick and ill, or those who have a disability or a disorder. We all know that. I didn't want to make this video too long, but I just wanted to just say how, like, I'm just so upset about this whole situation because it could have been avoided, but it's like these were the type of girls that were like, you can't ignore us, like we're the shit. Because this Melissa girl was always talking about how fucking, she didn't care about popularity, but she clearly did. Like, just her mannerisms, the way she would talk about certain sororities and certain fraternities, and how which one was cool and which one was not. It always pissed me to fuck off, but I didn't say anything. And then this girl who is an English major like me, that I felt wouldn't say all that shit, if it were just her and me. She'd probably be cool. She probably wouldn't even like that's what I don't understand about certain people. That one person that you know is cool, you know when it's just them and not that other person they're with. They're going to be a cool person, but as soon as they get with that other person, they become a complete asshole. And that's the type of person that she is, because being that she's an English major like me, I felt the most connected to her. You know, I was talking to her. I said, you know, what type of classes you have. You know, I was asking her questions about her homework, all of that. And then she was just like, you know, I got an issue with you because they have an issue with you, type of thing. And it's like, really, bitch? Because even when I had like walked into that apartment on Monday to just get my stuff or to look for my wallet, which I found, by the way, mysteriously appearing in someone's car, she was like, okay, like I'll let you in. And I'm like, you know, have you seen it? She's like, no. And then when Melissa said some shit, then she comes on and like, oh yeah, you're racist and I have an issue with your tweets. Because it was actually this girl, I forgot her fake name, but I'm going to say Gina. Gina is going to be the one to find my Twitter and to say, stop Kara, 20K, you know, hashtag. And it's like, you didn't say a lot of shit to me. Like, it's like, I hate these people who, you know, can be a nice person, you know, isn't so, you know, is down to earth, you know, is not a bad person, but it's just because you want to fit in, you want to be a part of that group, then you start having a problem. It's like, just because I have a problem with them doesn't mean I have a problem with you. Like, that pisses me the fuck off. And it's like, you're just as bad as them. She was yelling at me like, I don't care. Like, she's from this little, apparently she's one fourth Native American as well as her sister. And they're asking, you know, can I be considered, you know, light skin? I'm like, if you identify as, you know, if you identify as a white passing Native American, then you can be light skinned, but they obviously do not identify with their Native American side. So, you know, they're basically white to me. But she was basically just like, you know, we're ignorant and we want to ask you these questions because we feel comfortable around you. You know, we feel comfortable to ask you just these personal questions about your blackness and then or your hair, just because we want to know, and we don't give a crap about boundaries. But as soon as they found my Twitter and knew I wasn't that type of black girl, I wasn't on some Raven-Symoné shit like I was before. Because if this were like a couple of years, if this were like 6 years ago, I would probably been like Raven-Symoné. I probably would have been agreeing with Raven-Symoné because I was exactly that type of person. I was your, you know, light skin or at least light brown person who was trying to conform to respectability, was trying to fit into this cute, safe black girl look that Raven-Symoné still at 30 is trying to pull. And you know, thankfully I got out of that at 19 years old. You know, I was still learning some decolonization, learning about how slut shaming is detrimental and all of that shit. You know, I'm glad I got out of that early. But yeah, I was pretty much like Raven-Symoné, trying to be that adorable, darling, black girl, America's sweetest black girl, and conforming to respectability politics, trying to defend white people at every chance that I got without any nuances. You know, and then this English major girl, Gina's gonna like, well, you don't say you hate white people, but just from your tweets, okay. You don't say that you don't have an issue with black people, but just from the way you interact with me, I can tell. I can fucking tell. And that's why I didn't want to really fuck with you anymore. Like, it had nothing to do with your race. It had nothing to do because I thought you were white and lame. It was the fact that you just were dull people. You were dull. I joked with that Melissa girl who has a name that you would associate with African American girls. I said, you know, when I first found out that that was her name, I thought, is she one fourth black? Jokingly, and she's like, well, would you like me better if I were? I'm like, the fuck? Why would you ask me that stupid ass question? I probably wouldn't like you because I don't like your personality. That was before we had that falling out. But it's like, you know, that English major girl was like, oh yeah, you only feel comfortable around black people and they have to be black for you to understand. Yes, bitch. Like, why the fuck are you going to sit there and advise me about racism when you don't even know about it half the time? You still think you can be racist against white people, which that is not true. Like, I don't understand why people here have this mentality. It's like, this is a walking anti-social justice warrior fucking campus, and I hate it so fucking much. But that's basically how I feel. I've been talking fast. I wasn't trying to go this long, but that's all I have to say. I'm gonna take a little nap before 3 o'clock because I have Shakespeare at 3. So good day.